The time for compromise had ended. By early 1861, 7 Southern states had seceded from the Union. They had written their own constitution, chosen Jefferson Davis as president, and raised a new flag. The Confederate States of America were born. In the North, confusion reigned. Abraham Lincoln had just taken office, inheriting a nation already split in two. His mission was clear: preserve the Union. But how do you hold a country together when half of it no longer believes it exists? The first test came in Charleston Harbor, South Carolina. There, on a small island fortress called Fort Sumter, Union troops remained, surrounded by Confederate forces demanding their surrender. They were running out of food, out of supplies, and out of time. Lincoln faced an impossible choice. If he sent supplies, it could provoke war. If he abandoned the fort, it would signal weakness, a silent acceptance that the Confederacy was real. So Lincoln chose a middle path. He announced that he would send food for hungry men, not weapons, not reinforcements, but provisions only. In Charleston, Confederate leaders debated their response. For them, allowing the resupply meant recognizing Lincoln's authority. It meant admitting they were still part of the Union, and that they could not do. The decision came on April 11, 1861. Confederate General P.G.T. Beauregard sent an ultimatum to the Union commander, Major Robert Anderson: surrender the fort or face attack. Anderson refused. At 4:30 in the morning on April 12th, a single cannon fired from the shore. The shell arced through the darkness and exploded over Fort Sumter. The Civil War had begun. For 34 hours, Confederate guns rained fire on the fortress. Cannonballs shattered walls, ignited barracks, and filled the harbor with smoke. Inside, Anderson's men returned fire, but their supplies were dwindling. No one was killed during the bombardment, but the meaning was unmistakable. The age of words was over. On April 13th, Anderson agreed to evacuate. The Union flag was lowered over Fort Sumter. As his men saluted it one last time, bands in Charleston played triumphantly. Across the South, church bells rang. Crowds cheered. The Confederacy had won its first victory. But in the North, the reaction was explosive. Newspapers cried for action. Volunteers flooded recruitment offices. The next day, Lincoln called for 75,000 troops to suppress the rebellion. 4 more states, Virginia, Arkansas, North Carolina, and Tennessee, seceded in response. The lines were drawn. A divided House had fallen into war. What began as a question of states' rights and slavery had now become a test of survival for the Union and for the very idea of America itself. The first shots had been fired. The bloodiest conflict in American history had begun.